¿Qué tal? Muy buenos días. Mi nombre es José Manuel Martínez. Soy consultor de servicios de TI aquí en Lowbury International. Les doy la más cordial bienvenida a este webinar con el tema Automatice la extracción de datos y ahorre costos desde cualquier base de datos. La agenda para el día de hoy, pues acerca de nosotros, de Lowbury International, el tema Automatice la extracción de datos y ahorre costos. Y finalmente tendremos una sesión de preguntas y respuestas, para lo cual les comento que pueden escribirlas en la parte superior del chat y al finalizar pues daremos las respuestas a estas mismas. Acerca de nosotros, pues somos una empresa de consultoría de TI con más de 20 años de experiencia en Latinoamérica y Europa. Implementamos soluciones que apoyan a las mejores prácticas como lo son ITIL, ISO 27002 y COVID. Nuestro modelo de negocios es el siguiente. Siguiendo las mejores prácticas, creamos metodologías propias basadas en la experiencia y usando la tecnología. Les ofrecemos a ustedes los servicios de consultoría, soluciones de software, de actualización tecnológica y los ayudamos a ustedes a alcanzar los objetivos de negocio. Contamos con 5 líneas de negocio en las cuales está la seguridad de la información, en donde las aplicaciones que contamos van a permitir tener un registro claro y preciso sobre quién accede a esa información, quién realiza cambios en los perfiles del sistema. Vamos a poder monitorear de transferencia de archivos, podemos ayudarlos a ese envío de información de una manera encriptada. En la parte de monitoreo de infraestructura y servicios de TI, los apoyamos a conocer la disponibilidad de todos sus dispositivos de la red, así como obtener esos dashboards y pantallas que le van a informar sobre lo que va a suceder en sus dispositivos, permitiéndole tener las alarmas sobre algún comportamiento anormal. Y de igual forma vamos a poder ayudarles a ustedes a saber quién está consumiendo más el ancho de banda de su enlace, así como tener una visión de la disponibilidad y desempeño de sus equipos. En la parte de control de cambios, vamos a poder dar ese seguimiento al ciclo de desarrollo del software, al mejorar los controles de versiones y cambios realizados, así como la distribución en diferentes sistemas y plataformas, logrando así poder reducir el tiempo empleado en la liberación, ya sea de algún cambio o algún nuevo módulo. En la parte de Performance and Capacity Planning, podemos conocer el desempeño de sus servidores, la red y los servicios instalados en su negocio. Así vamos a poder ayudarlos a realizar pues esa proyección que les va a permitir saber en cuánto tiempo será necesario aumentar los recursos de su servidor o incluso cuándo debiesen cambiarlo. En la parte de automatización de tareas y procesos de TI, vamos a poder ayudarles a administrar y automatizar esas tareas y procesos en múltiples plataformas. Vamos a darles esa visibilidad por medio de dashboard y poder armar esos diagramas de flujo donde se involucren esas multiplataformas. Pues bueno, a lo largo de más de 20 años de experiencia hemos apoyado a las mejores empresas y aquí algunas de ellas. Igualmente, a lo largo de estos 20 años hemos formado alianzas tecnológicas con líderes en la industria que nos respaldan con el software de vanguardia y vamos a poder brindarles a ustedes las mejores soluciones y servicios especializados. En esta ocasión tenemos como invitado a Health System, quien bueno, tiene más de 30 años de experiencia en el mercado de TI, más de 10,000 clientes alrededor del mundo, atiende a 350 de las 2,000 mejores empresas según Forbes. El día de hoy va a estar Richard Shern y Pat Cameron con esta presentación. Hello, please proceed with your presentation.
All right, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our live webinar. I'm Richard Schoen, coming to you from our offices in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I'll be the moderator today for our webinar titled Automate Data Scraping and Extraction for Web and More. Today's 30-minute session will provide an introduction to some of the ways in which customers are using our Automate software to streamline their daily operations by automating web scraping, data extraction, and data entry to prevent double keying or any keying at all. Automating the user interface is just one method of streamlining. We'll explore several of the different methods available in the Automate process automation platform that can be used to create automated and robotic processes for data entry and extraction. Hopefully this session will get you thinking about ways your team can save time and money in 2017 by implementing automated processes. All right, as mentioned, I'm Richard Schoen, Director of Document Management Technologies here at Health Systems. I'm part of the Technical Solutions Group at Health Systems, bringing topics like this to our customers and prospective customers. I have over 28 years of background on IBM, Windows and Linux platforms, software development, system integration, managing and delivering forms and documents, and helping customers automate key business processes. My partner in crime today is Pat Cameron. Hey, Pat, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your role here at Health Systems?
All right, thank you, Richard. Nice to be here with you again. I am also a Director of Automation Technology here at Health Systems, and I work with customers implementing our products. I do some training. I do a lot of pre-sales, working in that technical consultant role here at Health Systems, and I've been here for over 17 years. Man, can't believe it's been that long. And in my previous life, I was an operations manager at a hospital here in Minnesota, so I've got lots of experience in the real world with various technology and working in the automation world in the past 17 years. So nice to be here with you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I've got a lot of longevity as well. I was listening to my wife got me a Queen album last night, and I was just thinking about in the 80s when I first started listening to that music, almost 40 years ago. Crazy. All right, so our session today will hopefully provide a good introduction to health systems and some of the ways we can streamline your users' daily manual entry and extraction workloads. We'll provide a brief overview of health systems and its history. Then we'll talk about the common business reasons companies want to automate meaningful data extraction processes. And we'll provide an overview of some data automation use cases. We'll end with a technology demo by Pat and a few. All right, so a little introduction to health systems. We've been in business for over 35 years now. I had 32 years on there, but just updated it, providing system management, business intelligence, network and infrastructure monitoring, document management and security, and audit solutions for IBM, Windows, Linux, and AIX platforms. We provide several automation technologies that can streamline the way users get their daily work done to help them focus on more effective activities such as servicing vendors, customers, and employees. Automate Complete is our answer to helping your team automate all their critical daily workloads on-premise and in the cloud. As you start looking to automate your workforce and their key processes, where you're at on the automation continuum will change as your business and automation needs mature. You don't want to get stuck with an automation platform only focused on a single type of automation. You want to work with a flexible company such as Health Systems that can provide automation software to solve many of the common departmental and IT automation issues, including software for meeting the individual and team automation needs, such as automating desktop applications, data entry, email processing, and web information capture via robotic process. A key component of automating workloads is flexible workflow scheduling and triggering. Our automated scheduling components help with enterprise job scheduling needs as your job-based processes need to include more complex job scheduling criteria and constraints, such as dependency-based scheduling. An example of this might be where a daily job needs to run or multiple daily jobs need to run successfully before a final nightly process completes. Summarize daily sales or move information to a data warehouse, such as Informatica, Microsoft BI, or other data warehouse repositories, such as our SQL BI product. And you need software that can monitor your network and automated processes on-premises and in the cloud. Keep all your business processes running smoothly and efficiently while keeping your team in the loop automatically regarding any system failures or interruptions that occur. When you start running automated processes across multiple in-house or cloud-based servers, it's highly important to make sure all your automation servers and services are up running 24/7. All right, let's talk about some of the painful data entry and extraction processes your teams are dealing with today. Within our organizations, users are performing many daily repetitive tasks. Some tasks make sense, such as taking and entering orders via phone or performing customer service requests where human interaction is required. Many of our daily tasks have been inherited because of shortcomings in our ERP or other business systems. Edge tasks that involve custom processing of data using CSV, Excel, and other utilities are often good candidates to be automated. These tasks are often tedious and involve repetitive actions, such as rekeying or copying and pasting of data, and are prone to mistakes. These types of tasks can also be difficult to train employees to do because they involve business rules that might seem odd or not easily documentable for the uninitiated, or they might be in someone's head, right, if you don't have processes written down. By automating these tasks, we provide consistent, repeatable, and easily documentable processes, so it becomes easier to focus on our actual job rather than trying to worry about manual processes. Right here, before we continue, I'm going to open up our short poll, which we'll review towards the end of the webinar. So I just have a few questions. If you don't mind answering those, we'll share the feedback with the group towards the end of the webinar. But let's look at a common example of a process that can be automated. So I call this work pattern the received report processing pattern. This is a mind-numbing way of processing repetitive data. This is a scenario where a report or work is received in a CSV or a text file or an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF document, and all the items in the report need to be reviewed and processed. The user often opens the report, they print it, or they start working through the data, and hopefully they have at least 2 monitors to work their data. We often call this type of work swivel chair automation. So for each entry, the user performs some data entry or other work, possibly in another system, or maybe data gets copied and pasted to a new report or a spreadsheet. When the work has been completed for the list, the original report and any new documents might get saved for archival and audit purposes, and maybe the final results get uploaded to another system for back-end processing. The mouse was invented to be helpful for interacting with the desktop, but this is not the way to be doing important daily work unless there's no other way. And fortunately, there is. So since this report processing task is driven by a consistent, repeatable list of information, it's a good candidate for robotic process automation and eliminating all the manual steps. Now when the report gets received, the user can save the incoming report file to an input folder for automated processing, or if the report comes in an email box process monitor can grab the report and save it to the input folder so it gets automatically processed, which means even the first step could be eliminated by automating that whole process from end to end. So assuming the review and data steps we eliminated were repeatable, new process simply runs in the background via an automated robotic process. And then the results are automatically entered or updated into the back-end systems, and the files are archived and audit trails created during the process to document what work the robotic process completed. And if process notifications are required, the process can send out notification and completion emails, update database information or other systems to audit the work that was completed, so all business systems stay informed of the work being done automatically. This is a great way to improve the daily redundant work processes done across the various departments within the business. All right, so where in the organization do most of your automation issues come from? There are 2 main areas where the Automate software can typically be used to implement automation within a business. Often we come in through the IT department. So in IT departments, Automate can be used to schedule and run back office processes and workflows. These are IT processes normally done during the day or run after hours to keep the business operational. This might include report generation, email automation, reading and writing databases, network and service monitoring, and more. Software can also be used to interact with and automate many development operations processes. This is commonly called DevOps in today's world. And then we have our end user departments. In end user business departments, Automate is often used to automate the time-consuming data entry processes and data extraction processes normally done by users, utilizing data entry into Windows or web applications or by copying and pasting data. Eliminating or reducing data entry or entering the same data into multiple systems is a key benefit to Automate that can quickly justify the software implementation. And then we're often asked who should create automation processes. So I would like to address this question. In an end user department, this may include someone with business analysis or macro building skills. These people are usually familiar with analyzing and implementing new processes. In the IT area, the creators of automation might include operations, network administrators, as well as developers if needed. And then we also have a business services team to assist as well when you need to get processes up and running successfully and quickly. There's one main question to ask that can quickly help identify areas that are ripe for robotic process automation in any department within the business. So I was asked, do any of your users spend 30 to 60 minutes or more today directly interacting with any applications or websites to download or process information? And are they doing lots of copying and pasting? If the answer is yes, then you've taken your first step to start identifying key processes ready for automation. Now the trick is to articulate the process on paper and start thinking about how to automate the process. So let's take a look at the requirements gathering process when starting to automate a new task. This process can be used for any task that you want to automate. I always ask people to create a simple bullet list or outline of the steps for a desired automation task. In other words, what does the human do today? Based on assumptions and talking it through, you have to determine, can a chosen task be systemized for automation? So in a couple examples, can task inputs be driven from an email message or a file or a database? What kind of decisions have to be made in the task? And And does the task need manual input most of the time or not? Is the process consistent, predictable, and repeatable every time? If so, then chances are the process can be automated, whether it's an email task, browser interaction task, a file transfer, or some other automation process. Things to think about. So let's review a couple of common automation business use cases. I'm sure you'll identify with one or more of these. This is an example that uses website interactivity to capture information from the Google Finance site and place the current stock price along with timings for service level tracking into the final spreadsheet based on an original template in Excel. After completing the data extraction, the final Excel file can be emailed or uploaded to SharePoint or an FTP site or a website and automatically entered into another interactive business system or database system as well, line by line. Website and other desktop interactivity can be used to automate data extraction or data entry processes across almost any application that doesn't have any other way to interact with it, such as APIs or web services. A lot of times you use the user interface automation. Managed file transfer is a need within almost every organization that we work with. Whether you're exchanging files with a bank, a trading partner, or other business, having a fast and easy way to use file transfer that supports auditing, file compression, encryption, and it has the ability to apply custom business logic to each file as it's processed is paramount to your business success, as well as keeping the auditors happy. Lots of customers use managed file transfer. This scenario is all too common for ETL and data warehousing users. So imagine being able to quickly write a workflow to read a table from one database, summarize the contents, and write the data to a second database table. You can also join in additional information along the way because you can use standard SQL syntax to read, summarize, and write information between databases. And then workflows can also be like information changing in a database, such as an Oracle or SQL Server table as well. So we can catch inserts, updates, deletes, and trigger off processes. Exporting lists of daily information to Excel, CSV, and other formats for daily reporting, daily processing, or dashboarding is another common need our users have. So imagine setting up a simple workflow to query the open order database every morning at 7 a.m., and then having that information waiting in your mailbox or a SharePoint directory or network folder or your document management system when you arrive. It's a great way to automate a lot of those daily reporting tasks, those data extraction tasks. As files are received, having an easy way to granularly import data to a database or reformat for another spreadsheet or file system file is very important. Automate allows an automated process to read in Excel, a CSV, a text, or a document line by line using the loop action. Processes can perform custom validation and business logic along the way, such as checking records against the database for existence or another file source to ensure data integrity. This type of automation can shave hours off your users' current manual daily process load so they can work on more meaningful tasks. Inbound emails can easily become part of your data extraction automation workflows. That was a mouthful. A common area we see where inbound email processing is used is accounts payable department. They want to start receiving and routing vendor invoices to appropriate users or into a document management system or an advanced form processing workflow to extract header and detail information. Or maybe your order processing department wants to start receiving orders electronically via email or from a website. And then another interesting area for IT would be to process service desk requests such as password resets and other requests that can be potentially handled automatically. I always think of user onboarding into Active Directory and your other business systems too. A lot of those sequences can be automated. But pretty much any area within the business where someone needs to constantly monitor and print or process email messages is a great candidate for an automated business process. And then my favorite, since this is my background, many companies have implemented document management systems for capturing and managing documents, delivering reports, and providing workflow across the organization. Often these systems need to pull in system-generated documents such as daily reports or invoices, proofs of delivery, and more. Or incoming paper files might get scanned from desktop scanners or multifunction printers and assigned file names based on order number or invoice number, shipment number, etc. Or maybe emails received and AP invoices or other attachments need to be automatically extracted and routed for processing. Automate has the ability to use information for the file names or document properties or metadata to extract indexing information for these systems. Or if each file needs an indexed information file or metadata file, those data files can be easily generated as documents or processed through the document management process. So we support importing files for document management systems, network directories, SharePoint, electronic document libraries, or any document management system, including our own web document management software. All right, one way to keep teams apprised of what's going on throughout the day is to use an auto-refreshing dashboard. This example shows a nice-looking, simple HTML dashboard template that can be automatically updated and displayed all day long on a small or large monitor to keep track of what's happening. One area this could be used is on the shop floor or some other production area where there are one or more large 70 or 80-inch screens. Might be used as a board to track daily production process. Every few minutes, the dashboard can self-update with information, so the large screen progress monitors are kept up to date automatically all day long without anyone doing anything. So I recently talked to someone who was going to be placing monitors at 10 or more locations throughout their plant, and all the large screens would be driven by a simple auto-updating HTML template and data extracted on a regular basis using Automate. Another use might be to provide a daily browser-based management snapshot of information with key metrics, such as number of orders processed and where we are at processing those throughout the day. Or you could create a self-updating information kiosk in the front lobby of your building to welcome visitors as they arrive. This information could be easily maintained by a receptionist from their desktop or updating a text file or an Excel or Word document perhaps. Either way, creating self-updating dashboards is a great way to provide key visual metrics on the fly throughout the day. All right, now we're going to take a quick look at our Automate business process automation software, which helps you facilitate all the use cases we've been describing and more. The Automate business process automation platform is used to automate the creation, running, and management of Windows process automation tasks and workflows without writing a lot of code. Past developers use drag and drop actions to build managed tasks, which can run on a scheduled basis or in response to event triggers. Tasks and workflows can also be run on demand. And then Automate provides over 600 predefined actions and activities for most common use cases. Here's a list of some of the most commonly used automation capabilities in Automate. We already talked about FTP and managed file transfer. We support compression and encryption with PGP and DTF and more. Local file management in both reading and writing, including Excel files, reading and writing to databases, and automating the sending and receiving of emails, SharePoint integration for document and SharePoint lists, and then onboarding and offboarding of users like we talked about already. Automating user interface interactions with Windows, web, Java, or terminal-based applications is a popular way to integrate the application if they have no API available to interface with. In these scenarios, workflows are built to log into the application, navigate the user interface, and enter or extract data or run jobs, such as invoice generation or other reports. And then the Automate platform also supports integrating outside technologies when you need more than what our 600 built-in automation actions provide to accomplish your daily work. We don't lock you into using just our automation activities. You can extend the environment using several outside technologies as well. All right, now Pat, it's up to you. I'm going to flip over to you. You are on.
All right.
There we go. So Pat's going to be doing our technology demo for us, and then we'll return and wrap things up.
So I'm going to show you a few of those examples of use cases that Richard talked about, and I thought I'd start out first with a workflow that triggers a number of those. You might have a process that involves maybe these tasks are running on different servers, but they're related to one another. And these are all kind of gathering data from some source and then processing it and doing something with it. So this is a workflow that can be created in our Automate BPA product. A couple things to note here, like Richard talked about different triggers that you can use. So I'm just showing you, we've got an example, maybe a file system condition, a new file. As soon as that file arrives, go ahead and trigger it. We can trigger on an email. I can trigger on a schedule. I can have a shortcut on my desktop and trigger it that way. So just to show you a couple examples of that. So what these guys are doing, this first one is monitoring an inbox for email, processing any attachments, and then creating a list of those email addresses and emailing that out. I'm going to run that, and then we'll go in and take a look at how it's built. So some of these run in the background. Some of these run interactively on the desktop. The second one is gathering information from a website. So this is the one that Richard mentioned from Google Finance, and it's reading information from a spreadsheet, entering it into the search box on the website, and then pulling that information about stock prices in. This one runs a SQL query and outputs to an Excel spreadsheet, and then emails that spreadsheet. This FTP runs in the background. And then this last one is a Microsoft Access report This is very interactive. It's just using the report wizard and Access to build a report. So I'm going to go ahead and run these guys just to show you that you can take those different tasks that you have, record them or learn them in with Automate, and then schedule them. And again, if you've got multiple tasks, so here's our spreadsheet with our stock tickers on there, and I'm going to move this, open up Google over here, but you can see it enters the information into that search box at the top, takes the price, and then updates the spreadsheet over on the left side of the screen. So you can schedule this every 10 minutes, and instead of maybe outputting to a spreadsheet, like Richard said, maybe output it to a dashboard that you've got, or on your company website, or a number of different, and just about anything you can think of, you can output that data to. So once that finishes that step, then it's going to go on to the next one, run our little SQL, output to Excel. That one isn't anything fun to look at. It just happens in the background. I can show you the emails that I'm getting. This one too, FTP is in the background. So as you can see, each task waits for the previous one to complete before it goes ahead and triggers. So you can make sure that those tasks are always going to run in the right order. They're always going to run at the right time, and they're always going to run based on whatever that prerequisite is. So this one is very interactive. You can see if you've got some type of an application where someone needs to come in every day and point and click to create that report, we can automate that with our automation tools. So that I don't have to worry about running that report. I don't have to worry about getting someone to run it for me when I'm on vacation. It will go ahead and run every day. Automate never takes vacation and never gets sick. And then I've outputted that report to a PDF file. And you can see down here, my task is just wrapping up. And then we'll close everything down that it's created and move on to the next step. Here's my PDF file. I can move that out of the way. And so now I've got my workflow, and as you can see, all the green arrows show that everything has completed successfully. So to build one of these tasks, going to the email task, like Richard said, we provide over 600 actions that you can use kind of pre-built, and we provide a template for you. So this is what the builder looks like. And over here on the left-hand side, this is where we have all the different types of actions, and you can just take that and drag it over into this work area, and we'll open up a template, fill in the blanks, and then go on to the next step. Also, like Richard said, the most important part is knowing what your process is, being able to document that either with a flow chart, just a bulleted list of the different steps that are done, and then you can use our actions to build those steps. So here we're going out and getting all the email from our email server, and I'm just going to pull in the test 1 subject line, so you can put in different filters, maybe who it's coming from, the sender or the receiver or the date, etc. And then I'm feeding those to a spreadsheet. And then I'm going to loop through. So it goes through and brings in the email and builds a data set. It's kind of a local table. And then we use that loop action to go through that data set that we've created and output those email addresses to a file that I'm going to then email to me. So it will go through each of those steps, and as soon as that finishes, then it will run the next step. Show you just a couple things about this. The web browser tasks. So if I'm logging into a website and I need to move the mouse around and go to a certain spot on the website or find a certain object, what you can do with the Automate web browser action, open up the browser to a certain page, and if I go down here, here's where I'm going to loop through that spreadsheet that I've got up here that I created from the template that's got my company ticker, whatever those are, initials on there. And it's going to loop through that, and then it's going to go out and set the text at this location. So when you create your task, we use this magnifying glass to find the location on the web page that you want to go to. So it's not by location, by X and Y. It's actually by the name of that object. So if we can find that, that's the best way to use it. But as you can see, we have a number of different attributes that we can use to find the object on the page. So if my page size changes or something, it's not going to affect my my Automate task. And then here, click a button. Again, we're finding just a specific action, and we're going to go ahead and click, wait for that page, for that input, and then go on to the next step. I'm writing it out to a spreadsheet then, so over here we've got a bunch of Excel options. Lots of our customers using Excel, like Richard said, pulling data from a database, pushing it to Excel, and the opposite as well, reading that spreadsheet or PDF file and taking that data and writing it out to Excel. So I'm setting the cell values for that spreadsheet, closing up the browser, and then emailing out that stock price report. So if I look at my email, I should have a few. So here are the email addresses from that first task that I ran. Here's my stock price report. And it's the spreadsheet. It's got the last price and the start and the end time on it. And then the customer list for my SQL step and my FTP file. So all of that was done without me having to do anything. So a couple other tasks that I've got here. One of the other, if we look at this SQL to Excel, I'll open that one up, and then I've got a writing from a table to another table. So this is reading from Excel, running a query in a SQL database that we have, and then writing it out to Excel. So here I've made a connection to the SQL database, and I'm running these SQL statements, pulling out customer names, etc. Close that connection up, create a new spreadsheet, and then writing the contents of that data set. Again, we take that data from the SQL database and write it to a local data set, and then I can take that information, write it out to Excel, and email that as well. So it's just a matter of knowing what the steps are, and then pulling those steps in from over here and entering the information that you want. You can build a connection based on different drivers that you have, different type of database that you have, etc. Lots of flexibility. And then the other one that I was going to show you, this is so this reads from one table and writes to another. I just don't happen to have it in my workflow over here. So it's making a connection to this, it's a Microsoft Access database, and then executing the SQL statement. And this one kind of cleans up the database to start with. In the real world, you probably wouldn't do that, but we're going to go ahead and delete records, and then we're going to rewrite them just for this example. So if I bring up my database over here, here are the two tables. So I've got table 1, see my 1, 2, and 3 records, and table 2, and right now it has the same records in there, different record numbers. But if I go ahead and run this task, we'll go ahead and run, and if I refresh this, I'll show you now that it's deleted all those records in table 2, and now it's going through and rewriting those from the one table to the other. So if I hit a refresh, now I've got records 46, 47, and 48, so that's been updated. These records happen to be in the same, or these tables happen to be in the same database for our demo example, but certainly in the real world, they may not be. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you is this awesome dashboard that we have. Bear with me a minute. I have that all open. Of course, I can't find it right now. Just a second. So I'm going to show you how this task is set up. So this is our task that's going to refresh that dashboard that we have and update the contents of that dashboard. Now I've got it set. I'm going to put a trigger on here. I had it disabled, but if I go ahead and edit that, it's going to update that dashboard every 10 seconds. It's going to refresh the data that's going out to that database. So I'm going to enable this. Come here and enable the trigger, and I'm going to start it now. And now my task is going to run every 10 seconds to update that data, that dashboard. Now let me find my dashboard. Bear with me. And the only thing that we're updating on ours right now is the time, but you'll see that when this updates, it will refresh the time, the task ran, and now my dashboard is going to update. So Richard was calling this the poor man's dashboard last week. He was working on it. So it's kind of a quick way to get that data out and up on the big screen for your people at the plant, for management, for your customers, to display whatever it is that you need to in a nice format that is quick to build and a nice little display. So I think that's all I wanted to show you.
Sounds good. I'm going to switch back over so we can wrap things up.
Take control. Sounds good.
Back in control.
All right.
All right. We only went 3 minutes over today, so that's not too bad.
Pretty good.
So I'm going to quickly review the polling results, and then we'll wrap things up here. Polling, where are you? There you go. Okay. So it looks like out of our respondents, so our question was, what type of process automation tasks do you plan to do? And a whopping 77% said we need to do data extraction to Excel, CSV, and XML and other formats. And I need to import and process data from those formats as well. 69% FTP, no surprise. I need to transfer data between databases, only 15% on that. Automate inbound email processing, 31%. Interaction with websites, 38%. Schedule jobs, 69%. So people wanting to automate the scheduling and stuff. And monitoring network servers, about 8%. So what type of user are you? So what our grouping says, end users, 8%. Survey says IT user and admin and developers were 77%, business analysts 8% of you, power user were 15%, IT managed 15%, and even had some others in there with 8% of others. This one says, do you or will you plan to build your own automation tasks? So 85% of you plan to do your own work, and chances are the other 15% will get a chance to help you on the services side perhaps. And then do you already use health systems automation software products, if I can talk? So 77% of you are already customers. So we appreciate that, and we hope to earn the business from the rest of you as you get a chance to go along. So thanks for attending today's our webinar. We hope you learned some helpful information about how you can use Automate to streamline some of your tedious day-to-day tasks. If you have a task or process you're looking to automate, feel free to forward or download our 30-day trial or schedule a process automation consultation, and we can help you get started working towards automating your important daily work. Also, if you have any additional questions on Automate or any of our other software products, please reach out to the sales team or feel free to email me and Pat, and we can connect you with the appropriate sales or support team members. Thanks again for attending today's webinar, and have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bueno, tenemos aquí algunas preguntas. En un momento más regreso con ustedes. Permítanme un segundo. Bueno, vamos a ver las preguntas que nos hacen. Nos preguntan que cómo se hace la conexión hacia las bases de datos. Pues bueno, como lo vimos en el video, se configura el ODBC y con este se invoca. Aquí también nos preguntan que si se pueden ejecutar queries. Sí, efectivamente se pueden ejecutar los queries y el store procedure. Igual, continuamos por aquí con las preguntas. Dice que se puede combinar datos de diferentes fuentes o plataformas. Efectivamente, sí se puede. Incluso se podría extraer datos, por ejemplo, de uniseries, de MySQL, de SQL, y al final combinarlos en un archivo de Excel. Es todo este proceso de automatización. Bueno, aquí tenemos pues algunas preguntas. Vamos a dejar aquí ya de cualquier, bueno, no tenemos unas preguntas, nos vamos a poner en contacto con ustedes para darles respuesta a las mismas, igualmente mostrarles pues más detalles sobre esta tecnología. Con esto vamos a dar por terminado este webinar. Agradecemos pues su tiempo, y de cualquier duda o inquietud sobre alguna de nuestras tecnologías o servicios que vimos el día de hoy, no duden en llamarnos al número que se encuentra aquí en pantalla o escribirnos a nuestra dirección de correo electrónico. Muchas gracias, hasta pronto y que tengan un excelente día.